All right. Hey guys, this is week 3 working on this painting. It's a pretty large one. I figured I'd go live for maybe 30 minutes, work on this. If you guys have any questions throughout the stream, just let me know. It's still very much a work in progress. I still, let's see, can you guys, let me see if I can move this back some so you can see more. Okay. At this point, I still haven't gone to any of the details. Like the eyes are just like a dark mass. The nose isn't really a nose. The lips, there's not really detail there. I think from far away, it might look like there's more detail because I've been focusing on like building up the form. But yeah, haven't like this, there's not even anything in this. It's just a dark blob. So yeah, I'm just gonna work on some of these areas. And if you guys have any questions, let me know. It's always easier when you guys have questions and then I don't have to paint in awkward silence. Oh, I should mention too, so this painting, the last time I showed you guys, I hadn't used any mediums or thinners yet. For this layer, I have started to use some medium, and I'll show you what I'm using. It's just this, it's Gamblin solvent-free fluid. I like to keep a non-toxic studio as much as possible. So even like Gaukid, it's like, I think that's a low toxic one, but it's still not the safest if you're working in your house, you don't have good ventilation, you have pets and children around. So that's why I always opt for the completely non-toxic options. And I keep everything. Let me just show you. I don't use a lot. Like here's the little jar that I keep my mediums in. You guys can't really see. Like there's really just a tiny bit. You don't need a lot. So like for this whole painting so far, I think I filled up this little tiny jar twice. And I'm really just using it right now to help me put in big swatches of color. Like can you guys see the difference there? We're just gonna glaze in darker, more uniform background everywhere. So yeah, if you have any questions, let me know. I'm using my standard brushes that I always love to use. Oh, someone had asked me about blending the other day. Let me show you my brushes that I like for blending. Okay, so I mentioned these are like my workhorse brushes, right? These are the Aspen Princeton brushes. They let me get down just like my large swatches of color. But anytime I want to blend in colors, I use these two. And these are just, these are Princeton Select, what are these? They're just like the blue ones. I don't know what they're actually called, but they're just like this is called the round blender. It is amazing for blending. And I always talk about it. Yes, I do blend on the canvas. I always do. And what is this one? This one's just an angle shader. So the shaders and the blenders are what I really like. Just a little random side note. Still have a lot of work to do in this one. I haven't, I mentioned before, I haven't really touched the bottom of the painting yet, just because like physically it's annoying to get down there to work on it. So I tend to work in like more comfortable areas first and save the harder stuff for the end, which is not, you know, probably not the best method, but it is the lazy method. So I haven't really gone to any of this stuff yet. All right, my friends who are watching live, where's everyone watching from? Also, sorry I keep crossing in front of the camera. I should probably move my palette. If you guys want to see my palette, this is how I set up my palette for glazing. I generally only, if I'm glazing in colors, I only do my darks or I only do my lights. Why? Because what happens when you mix darks and lights? You often inadvertently create a tone, a grayed out, muddy color, and I don't want to do that. I'm handling them separate right now. So I always, when I'm glazing, I handle my shadows separate, I handle my highlights separate, and then I handle my transitions separate. So that's why my palette looks like this. And all of my glazing colors, for the most part, everything except for this yellow, are all transparent or semi-transparent colors. It's just gonna help with, actually, I don't think this vermilion isn't transparent, but the workhorses are all transparent colors, and you can kind of see that on here. It just helps me get into these areas. Oh, we got some questions. Someone said, hey, Miriam. Oh, you're in Brooklyn. Awesome. Hi from Germany. Hey, stumbled upon your channel recently and very happy I did. Your tips have already helped to improve my paintings. Thanks for doing what you do. Hey, thank you. That is so kind of you. And I'm so glad that you find my tips helpful. Ooh, Boise, Idaho. I've never been there. Sweden. Someone's from Sweden. Yay. I've never been to Sweden either, but it's on my bucket list. Oh, okay. So let's talk about black. I have a lot of black going on here. You'll often hear people say, don't use black. I don't think, I don't live by that rule. I use black all the time in my paintings. I'm just very conscious about how I use it. Your ivory blacks, your Mars blacks, those are going to be very desaturated colors, right? So you need to be careful about when and how you're mixing them into your paintings, because you're going to create, grayed out tones if you're using it to darken a color. But if you're the color that you're trying to mix is a desaturated tone, then black is totally valid for that. However, for this, I want really rich, really deep darks. So I'm not going to use a desaturated black. I'm going to use a very highly pigmented black, and that's what I'm using for this. This is chromatic black, which I guess technically isn't black at all. It's purple and red mixed together. It's a Gamblin color. I'll show you the tube if you want. Let's see. So this is what I'm using, chromatic black. And let's see, sometimes they have the colors. They used to have the colors actually on the package, but they don't on their new packages. But you can see this is a transparent black. Do you guys see that? It's a completely transparent black, and I'm pretty sure it's purple and red. Did I say that? Or no, purple and green. Purple and green is what they mix together for it. And what that does is it lets me create these really rich, really deep, really highly saturated blacks that I can glaze in. That's super important to me. All right, let's see some other comments. Oh, someone from Pennsylvania. Yay, I grew up in Pennsylvania. Hi from Warsaw. What kind of paints do you use? Okay, so I'll show you my favorites are Old Holland. I love Old Holland brand. They're quite pricey, so I try to be more reserved with my Old Holland paints. The workhorses are Gamblin. The Gamblin Artist Oil colors. That's what the majority of this is so far. Okay, someone says, originally I'm not from Sweden, but I moved here and I've been living here for a while. I found your TikTok and then your YouTube and really love your art. Well, yay, thanks for being here. I haven't posted on TikTok in, I don't know, maybe like a month. I need to get on it. Someone's from Buckeye, Arizona. Awesome. Haha, you are not only a painter, but telepathic also. That's funny. All right. Back to painting. Also, okay, so once I start hitting this glazing stage where I am adding in more medium, I'm starting to be a little more careful about where I put stuff. Like you can see, this is all still a mess, right? Like I'm not detailed. I'm not doing this with precision. But once I get into the glazing, I am starting to be slightly more, I don't want to say consistent, just maybe slightly more thoughtful about my brush strokes. Someone said you were showing black paint to, oh, I think their comment got cut off. All right, someone said, does the chromatic black mix well with other colors to darken it? Does it interact differently since it's not desaturated? Yes and no, but you want to be careful about what you're mixing it in to darken it with, because this is like, there's a lot of purple in here. Like if you don't want to, I wouldn't use something like this to darken up skin tones or something, because the purple and orange, that's going to give you a really gray kind of color. So I really mostly use this for when I do want a black area. But you can see I will blend it into like this. Okay, this is wet paint right here that I've glazed in, and this is wet paint, and I've mixed the black into my vermilion here, and it mixes quite nice. It blends nice. But I personally, when I go to darken colors, I won't even use chromatic black as my main go-to. I normally use burnt umber, here, these ones, burnt umber, ultramarine blue, and alizarin crimson. I just mumbled a whole lot. Hopefully that made sense. Oh, okay. It can be really easy too, once you're in the glazing stage, to overdo it with the glazing and use too much. Because on the surface it does, I mean, it's like, oh, this is so easy. It's letting me do a really large area all at once. But don't fall into that trap. Only use as much medium as you truly need. You'll be better for it in the end. One thing about me is I don't have a steady hand. I think that's also why my style, I tend to favor chaos in my work, because I'm really shaky. And so doing areas like this where I'm like on the edge and I'm trying to make a nice sharp thing. And also I'm eyeballing a circle, which I know it's not a perfect circle, but this part always stresses me out. All of these dark areas, I really want to rich them up. Get them really dark, really saturated. And that's just gonna help add a sense of depth. Because right now this all looks flat, right? Like this is all on the surface, but I want to play with the idea of depth all throughout this portrait. So I know I have a lot of work to do. And right now I'm kind of just marking out areas for myself where I know I need to go back in. So that's why you see I'm putting marks here, putting marks here, here. These are kind of just me mapping out where I need to go. Someone said shaky hand gang. Yes, exactly. Someone said, do you use acrylic for underpaintings? Normally I do. I do a lot of times use acrylic for my underpaintings. This one, I did not. This one I went straight to oil on it because it's a cover-up of an old painting. I had an old painting under this that was done in oil, and you know, can't put acrylic over oil, so I just went straight to oil on this one. I need to grab more paint. Oh, where did I put that tube of chromatic black? Oh, there it is. All right, a little more medium. Ugh, hate working down here. Again, this is, none of this is accurate that I'm putting in here. This is more so me just making notes for myself on the canvas, where I need to go in and fix areas. I need to darken up all these values. All right. I'm gonna add back in those red dots later. Quite like them there. Oh, someone says, what is your take on beautiful and Instagrammable paintings? I'm a painting student and currently I've kind of lost my way in painting. Oh, I could talk about this for days. Uh, I've had, I've had lots of people like gallery owners, um, art sellers reach out to me and tell me that if I just painted more beautiful things, I'd be able to sell a lot more. And there's kind of a few things with that, right? You can fall into the trap of creating really beautiful Instagrammable things, and it'll work. But the other thing is, you have to answer two questions for yourself. One, is it going to fill your artistic cup to do that? And if the answer is yes, then more power to you. If that fills your artistic cup, then good for you. And then the second question is, do you want to deal with all that competition? That's a huge pool of people, right? When you think about beautiful Instagrammable work, you have a lot of competition. When you kind of niche down and you create stuff that really speaks to you, yes, you appeal to less people. But that's the goal, right? Your goal as an artist is not to appeal to every single person out there. You don't want your work hanging in every single living room out there. You want to reach people that it speaks to. And there's something that's really cool that happens when you do niche down like that. When you make your pool smaller, you gain more like brand loyalty. I know that's a weird way to put it, but people get more excited about it. You can charge higher prices because it's not a commodity. You don't have a million other people that you're competing with. So it's up to you. I prefer to work in a way that fills my artistic cup. my sales, because of that, my pool of people might be smaller. It might be less consistent than, other artists, but I can charge a premium for my work and it makes me happy to do. And that's my view on it. I don't know. That was a lot. That was a lot of rambling. Someone said, love your work. Thank you so much. Yeah, that's a hard question. Hard question to answer. Ugh, this whole area is such a mess. I haven't really thought about that yet. All I know is I want to emphasize, like he's kind of looking, his nose is pointing this way, right? Like he's looking maybe this direction. I want to emphasize the diagonals of this. So I'm going to really emphasize these flowers up here, everything, the side of his face here. We're going to emphasize the flowers here and then all the way down his arm. So that's the only thing I know I want to do with this. Let's see. Someone said, thank you so much. I really appreciate your answer. Oh, thank you. Someone said, how did you find your painting style? Oh, that's a good question. Something that's kind of strange about me is I learned to paint before I learned to draw. So I feel like my style kind of came about in an organic way because I didn't necessarily know what I was doing at the beginning. And I take a really sculptural approach. I try and build it versus like drawing it out and planning it. And I've just kind of embraced that chaotic side. But I also do feel like my style is always changing. I don't know, maybe because it's my work, I view it differently, but sometimes it's hard for me to feel like I have a consistent style. Oh, someone said, oh my God, this is so beautiful. Mark my words, you're going to be famous. Hey, that's honestly too kind. Someone said, I'm getting to the point. Oh, and getting to the point where you could make a living off of your work, did you ever struggle to stay true to the things that fill your artistic cup? Did you ever lose your way artistically? Totally. And that's I speak from experience on that. Okay, so just for example, one of the things I had to stop doing was commissions. There was a time where I was taking on commissions and it was stressing me out so much. I'd go to bed thinking about the commission. I'd wake up the first thing in the morning thinking about the commission. And I just felt like I couldn't put my artistic spin on it fully, and that really stressed me out. Or having to, like this, you guys don't, I can make the nose look like whatever, the eyebrows look like whatever, and the mouth look like whatever, and no one would be any wiser, right? But with a commission, when you're trying to achieve a likeness of a certain person, that's a lot of pressure to get everything accurate. So like that's just one example where I've cut out a whole revenue stream for myself, potential revenue stream, because it didn't fill my artistic cup. Now I do certain commissions. I call them creative commissions. And that's basically someone tells me what they want, but gives me full artistic license to do it. They don't get to tell me the colors, the size, anything. I just go to town on it. And those are the kinds of commissions I will take. But anything where it's like, will you paint my family member, stuff like that, I've cut that out. Okay. Someone said hi. Oh my God, that's so cool. I also paint, but not that good. Well, thank you. We all start somewhere. Oh, the other thing with like, filling your artistic cup and falling into that trap of taking on work because it'll be Instagrammable or it'll sell well. The flip side of that is if you build your audience on that, it can be demoralizing when you do post your creative work and you don't get the same reaction, or worse, you lose followers, people unfollow you for it. It's hard sometimes to separate the mental aspect of that. And I've had that happen a lot too. Um, so yeah, I just try to avoid it at all costs. Oh, I think I just fucked up. Oh, I shouldn't swear. Um, Sorry, but I think I just messed up that circle. That's what I get for going too fast. We'll fix it later. Someone said, "How long has that taken you so far?" This is week 3. Week 3. Working on it on and off. Someone said, "Oh my God, that's a lot of time." Yeah, it's a big one. I have a really bad habit of starting big paintings and then abandoning them. So I'm trying my best not to abandon this one and see it all the way through. Oh, someone said, "Happy Valentine's Day." Thank you. Happy Valentine's Day to all of you guys. I have 3 young children, 3 young girls. And so we woke up this morning, gave them their Valentines. It was very sweet. It's always a fun day. Oh, these flowers up here give me a headache to look at. Someone said, amazing work. Do you have an image in your mind or what the final piece will look like, or is it a more organic process? So I do have a few references that I'm working off of for this one, um, but it's kind of like I pick and choose what pieces I want to take from. So for some of these flowers, I've been looking at pictures of Van Gogh's flowers, just how painterly his work is. Um, the actual reference is a picture of my husband that I've been using. I don't stick to the reference though, but everything's based on it. But things such as like the flowers and everything like that, you know, at this point, I have no idea what everything's gonna end up looking like. Someone said, why? Oh, why what? Why do the flowers make you have a headache? Oh, just because this area up here, it just looks so unfinished and ugly to me. And also, it's just every time I look at it, it reminds me of how much work I still have left to do on this piece. Thus the headache. Let's blend. Is this dry? Yeah. So I just put some blue, like I glazed in some dark blue, and I just kind of blobbed it on there. Now I'm just taking my round blender and just blending some of that out. Just to get some more of that more saturated blue in there. Just blending in that whole area. Nothing precise, just going on vibes. Someone said, wow, beautiful, I love it, thank you. Someone said, I draw better. You probably do. Like I said before, I suck at drawing. Someone said, people are just jerks, stop being mean. Listen, I'm totally used to it. Someone said, do you give one piece your full attention or do you work on multiple projects at one time? It depends. Okay, so I have two big easels that I work on at a time. And right now I have two large paintings on them. My other one, my easel in the back, the painting's even bigger. It's a 6-foot painting back there. So I don't have anywhere else to really store them right now, so I'm only working on these ones at the moment. If I was working on smaller paintings, I'd be able to easily switch them off the easel, and I would work on multiples or more than, just one like this at a time. But since it's so big, it's kind of taking up all my space. Um, Someone said, so cool, it looks amazing. Thank you so much. All right, I'm probably gonna hop off in a second. Um, Go grab some snacks, take a break from this, maybe let it dry for a day, and then think about how I want to approach it for tomorrow. But thank you guys all for joining, and it was good chatting with y'all. Bye. When will you get back on live? Maybe, I try and get on at least once a week. At least once a week.